the match. He had sliders on but didn't have any strapping that I could see.
Workers and students in Saudi Arabia have been given the day off today because of their shock 2-1 win over Argentina. Meanwhile, these Argentina fans couldn't even drown their sorrows properly.
I wish I could have started drinking before the game, even before we lost.
No whiskey, no with vodka, just beer.
I think it will be better. I don't know if I would be drinking because it's kind of expensive for us. But yeah, we will do better.
Portugal captain Cristiano Ronaldo will skip the team's press conference today following his bad-tempered exit from Manchester United. His now ex-teammate Bruno Fernandes will take the questions instead. And Croatia have now kicked off against Morocco. It's live over on TalkSport 2 now.
Fancy Dan DAB on your smart speaker and on the miracle of the internet. World Cup Game Day Warm-Up with Jim White and Simon Jordan on TalkSport.
Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Jim White and Simon Jordan with former Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy. And this is World Cup warm-up. We're live from Doha, Qatar. Ronaldo's second Manchester United spell comes to an abrupt end after essentially being sacked by the club. So what now for Cristiano? America, Saudi Arabia, or retirement? And how big a win is this for Erik ten Hag? Meantime, are Manchester United fans one step closer to getting their wish of Glazers out? Also today, Giroud versus Henry. Is there a correlation between a difference in style and plaudits? Could Callum Wilson be about to get his England chance sooner than expected? Is a World Cup the wrong time to trial stamping out common issues in football? And a new contract for Guardiola. A good thing for Manchester City, but is a bad thing for the Premier League. It's Jim White, Simon Jordan, Danny Murphy, and we are all live on World Cup warm-up. Live from Doha, Qatar, on TalkSport. Hi everybody, we're getting used to this. We're coming to you live from our purpose-built studio on the outskirts of Doha. It's Jim White, it's Simon Jordan, and it's Danny Murphy. Mr. Murphy, how are you? Fully acclimatised, we can see.
Yeah, I've done a couple of late games the last 2 days, so end up, with the time difference, you get into bed at silly o'clock. So yeah, a little bit tired, but enjoying it so far. Some great games. Some brilliant performance. Mbappe, watching him live is just a pleasure, isn't it?
I was there, Danny. Yeah, I was there. Late finish, wasn't it? I got back to my hotel at 2 a.m. I don't know about you.
Yeah, just before.
Yeah.
Just before the limo got us about 1:10, yeah.
Sure. Now, having said all that, Danny, Simon's probably a bit tired out after all his shopping yesterday afternoon in a mall right beside our hotel and all these designer shops. How did that go?
Very nice, having a little wander around, trying to embrace the culture, make sure I availed myself of everything that was going on, and had a welcome respite from your company.
Oh, that was fine. That was fine by us. Now, listen, paddle tennis, do you partake of this,
I've
Danny?
never played.
No.
Simon's kindly invited me to. I'm just trying to clear up a little thigh problem I got at Wembley last week. I know that sounds pathetic, but it's the truth. I've even missed out on a bit of golf so far, so yeah, I've not partaken in anything other than a little jog on the treadmill and a few bike rides, but yeah, all good.
Danny, I've got to say, sparing his blushes, he is very good at paddle tennis. This thing is big in this part of the world, and I think it's going to get big back in the UK. You've been playing against such luminaries as Patrick Kluivert. Who was it this morning?
Robbie Keane played this morning, and he was very good.
I'm sure
very
he was.
good.
He's a talented boy, isn't he?
And Carlos Puyol played this morning, but it's a Spaniard, isn't he? It's almost a national game of Spain, this sport now, so he was pretty good too.
Carlos Puyol, all right, okay. Simon mixing with the great and the good here in Doha, Qatar, and there are plenty of them out here. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can watch the show as well as listen to it. Head over to the official TalkSport channel on those platforms. We are going to talk, of course, Simon, Danny, about Cristiano Ronaldo and what is next for him and what is next for Manchester United. But you have to think this morning, incidentally, live on TalkSport 2 right now, if you want to do a bit of, if you like channel hopping, you can see the live match that's underway between Morocco and Croatia. That's World Cup Group F. Commentary on TalkSport 2 from Mark Wilson. Mickey Gray is alongside Mark for that one. Goalless at the moment. A lot of Moroccans in our hotel. Very excited about this one. But to many, Croatia, dark horses, just as they were in the Russia World Cup, Danny. So I wonder how far Croatia will go. Anyway, that's for another time. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on with Morocco against Croatia as we go on this morning for the next 2 hours. But I would have thought Manchester back home at the moment, a tale of two supports, if you like, and very much a tale of two clubs. Because, Simon, Manchester United all tied up about the Glazers. Are they selling Ronaldo? Yep. They've sacked him. Yep. What next for him? But across the city in the blue half, Pep signs another deal, and it's now confirmed he is there for another lengthy spell at the football club. He has signed a new deal valid until June 2025. I would have thought City fans jubilant about that this morning. Please. What does that do for City, Simon?
Well, it's good news for City fans, and it's slightly more, troubling news for the rest of the Premier League, because ultimately he's in a situation where he is presiding over a team that's beginning to look like something that I'd never thought they would see, which is a dynasty, because they're winning so many things in the English Premier League. What it tells you is that Pep is very comfortable at Man City. Some people are making observations about, and I can't quite fathom this one, about it's a lack of ambition from him. Well, I mean, I don't quite understand how it can be a lack of ambition.
Yeah.
What he's doing, potentially, is he's building a football club that becomes a legacy club. There's this argument about the aristocratic nature of the elite teams in Europe, the Bayern Munichs, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, the Manchester Uniteds, and they've had this sort of snooty feel towards Man City because they're a manufactured club in their eyes. The more he lays down the foundation of keeping on dominating English football, if he can land a European title in there, then you're in a situation where this football club will start to be spoken not just as an outlier that's got itself into a situation where it's so dominant in English football, but still gets a sort of attitude that's been manufactured by an alternate means. It'll start to become a legacy club, and Pep Guardiola will be at the centre of that. So it's a great thing, because there's nothing about his performances over the last year that's diminished. He's still absolutely in the groove.
Right.
And the rest of the Premier League will probably be inhaling, thinking, I thought we were going to get rid of him at the end of this season.
I mean, Danny, Simon's on it. 4 titles in the last 5 years. One has to think with Guardiola at the helm again, and it gives them this stability. They can carry on doing what they've been doing so effectively. What we're looking at, the next, 6, 7 titles in the next, 2,
well, I think you can only look as far as his tenure, which is 2 more years, you just said, I think, didn't you? I mean, it's
2025. Yeah.
Continuity is great. The players still seem to play with that intensity that he's always demanded from them. He's got a great way of making brilliant players even better. Not many coaches can do that in terms of work ethic, demanding more from them. I think a lot of other managers and fans alike, and even players, will be hearing that news going, oh no.
Exactly.
Oh my God. There would have been a sneaky feeling that he hadn't signed yet. Maybe he's going to call it a day, which I think would have definitely helped the competition.
Yes,
definitely.
Teams are getting close to being equal.
Although they'll still have a wonderful budget and they'll still have the nucleus of this brilliant team, I'm not sure many managers have the capability of demanding the intensity and getting it from those players. Somehow his magic is being able to get... David Silva's the best example. I always use it. When I did a study on his numbers, I mean, he was already a phenomenal player, loved by the City fans, loved by everybody.
Sure.
His numbers went through the roof when Pep came after a year. Numbers in terms of ball regaining possession, high intensity sprints, assists and goals. Now, if you can do that with David Silva, you can do it with anybody.
Right.
And I'm not sure there's many managers out there who can do that.
Actually, this has just come our way now. Pep has been speaking on the Manchester City website. Let's dip in as he's signed this new deal.
Since the day one, the people change, the team change, the opponent change, and you have to change as well.
I know who you are as a player. I know who you are as a team.
We are not the same from the day one, but that is the secret. It's impossible to do it without the support of your hierarchy. It's impossible. And when you have that, all you can do to do your best. I've done for the day one, and we do it until the last one.
One of the best, most incredible performances I've ever seen.
I love my job, and I have everything. I have everything to do it. I cannot be in better place right now to feel like still I can do my job.
You're so good. You are so good, all of you.
Guys, orange with the ball. You have to be so aggressive.
Incredible, beautiful memories that we had together, and still I have the dream to achieve more. I know what the club wants. I will fight for that.
The only title we don't have is the Champions League, guys, but nobody's going to leave us. If you want, you have to take.
The job is not done. I still have something more to do. That is my feeling still right now. That's why we will continue to be together.
Pep Guardiola, who has signed this new deal at Manchester City. Bad news for all the rest, but great news for Manchester City. That just gave you a flavour, Simon, of what it's all about, doesn't it? The job is not done. They've got to win the Champions League.
Of course they have. I mean, ultimately, they will always say that their stable diet begins at home and their domestic title is their bread and butter. But you really, as part of the legacy that I spoke about earlier on, this football club morphing into something that becomes part of the pseudo-aristocracy of European football, that group of people that, perceive themselves to be part of the European Super League, that were the only real value in it. To be part of that gang, they're going to punch through that door by keep on winning and winning. And if they don't win the European Cup or the Champions League, they're going to find themselves in a situation where they'll still be outliers. Look, everyone else has got to raise their game. Yeah. He's not the only game in town. He's a very, very, very good coach. And Man City aren't just going to be handed the Premier League. And Jurgen Klopp and those around him, people, we say they in hell and go, oh, he's still going to be around. Rise to the challenge. That's what you've got to do. Rise to the challenge.
Simon's right. It's up to the rest now, Danny, isn't it?
Indeed, it is. Well, all I meant was that, the challenge is greater because of him.
Yes.
And there would have been, I don't think there would have been too many tears shed if he decided that was the end of his road.
Sure.
For obvious reasons, a compliment. I mean, I think you're right. Jurgen has to reinvent the team a little bit, I'm sure, at Liverpool. I've got a feeling they'll come good after the World Cup with the injuries coming back. You've got Ten Hag trying to implement his style at United. You've got Graham Potter at Chelsea. Conte, yeah. I'm not sure Conte will be around for too long, but Arsenal are the ones at the moment who are trying to match them, but it's a tough task.
Yes, yeah. Great news for Manchester City and their fans. Pep stays that bit longer. We knew he probably would, but now it's confirmed a new deal valid until June 2025. Well done, City. Well done, Pep. Well done, Khaldun Al-Mubarak and the rest of them. Big day of live football, of course, on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. We're over in Qatar, of course, the World Cup off and running. Morocco against Croatia. That one's live on TalkSport 2 right now. 1 o'clock, Germany against Japan. TalkSport for that one. Then at 4 o'clock, Spain against Costa Rica. That's an interesting one. What's Spain going to do in this World Cup? We're about to find out. They get started today. 4 o'clock for that. And then tonight, De Bruyne and the rest of them. 7 o'clock, Belgium against Canada. That one's live on TalkSport. We're up and running, but what next for Ronaldo? We're about to talk about that following that interview and the news last night that United had parted company with him. Maybe no love lost there. It's Jim White, Simon Jordan, Danny Murphy live in Qatar.
The warm-up on TalkSport with EE. You can't always count on a great result for your team, but you can count on EE full fibre broadband to give you the speeds you pay for, even at peak times. Powered by BT. Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk.
You love what you do. Every job and every customer matters. And your reviews, glowing. We've got a lot in common. We're Trust a Trader, the website that millions of people use to find reputable tradespeople like you. If you're as passionate as we are about doing things right, find out if you've got what it takes to join the Trust a Trader family and really grow your business. Apply now at trustatrader.com. You can always trust a trader.
Trustatrader.com. In football, anything is possible.
Because every passionate supporter has a superpower.
Magic can happen when you believe.
As excitement builds ahead of the FIFA World Cup, Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is celebrating the UK's most devoted fans.
What will you do if your team wins?
Run to work every day in the rain.
Shave my head and change my name.
Share your promise and show you believe.
Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Believing is magic. Official partner of the FIFA World Cup.
Hello folks, I'm Farmer Christmas. Get Big Macs ready at Morrison's with selected packs of beer and cider, any two for £20. There's loads to choose from. Now that gets my official seal of approval. Morrison's.
Majority of stores subject to availability. Online varies. Excludes Scotland and Wales. Please drink responsibly.
It's here with game after game of...
Whoa! Who's that?
United need to sign him. No.
That number 9, he's proper class.
Discover more from a World Cup like no other, with over £10 million in free bet giveaways, all on the UK's #1 betting app, Sky Bet. That's betting better. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Market restrictions may apply. No free bet expiry. Free bet stakes not included in returns. Eligibility restrictions and further T&Cs apply. Verify at skybet.com/1.
It's Black Friday on manomano.co.uk. Enjoy our fantastic offers. Your savings start now.
DIY, home and garden. manomano.co.uk. You've got this.
And it's also Black Friday on Mano Mano Pro, the site and app for professionals. Offers valid from the 22nd to the 28th of November. Visit manomano.co.uk and Mano Mano Pro for details.
When people ask me about greener ways to heat their homes, I always recommend Samsung heat pumps. Instead of gas, they use electricity, plus the energy in the air outside to heat your home and water. So not only are Samsung heat pumps low carbon, they're energy efficient too. You can even control your heating with your smartphone, and it's all backed by a 7-year warranty.
Search Samsung heat pumps today for a greener way to heat your home.
It's party time with Juicer. Score some great rewards, like a party bundle, including beer and a takeaway voucher, bottles of wine, or love to shop vouchers. Just spend at least £400 excluding VAT on collected orders before November the 30th. And the more you spend, the more you score. Terms and conditions apply. Account holders only. Registration required. For details, see juicer.co.uk.
Traffic and travel on Talk Sport, presented by EE Full Fibre Broadband, powered by BT.
Through to Manchester, queues on the East Lancs Road A580, where the A579 Atherley Way is closed northbound from the East Lancs towards St Helens Road for Lee. The M1 in South Yorkshire, pothole repairs south towards the Tinsey Viaduct at Meadowhall, Junction 34. The M40 Buckinghamshire, a broken down car before 3 at Loudwater. They've just reopened the lanes. The M27 East bridge repairs are happening before Junction 9 Fareham, and Devon, the A38 closed through Chudley northbound. I'm Sarah Elliott.
Just imagine winning the lottery this Christmas.
Winning it around Christmas, like, you could just do Christmas on a whole different level, couldn't you?
I mean, I'm already buzzing, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm already having the best time ever. And now I've won this as well. Who's the first person you'd tell? You'd have to tell your family straight away, I think.
Yeah, of course. I'd scream so loud that the whole of the street would know.
Everybody would know straight away with me. But you wouldn't believe it. I'd keep checking and checking.
Go on. Just imagine a win this Christmas. The National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
The FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 on Talk Sport. Every game, every goal, every minute of the football from the desert on official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 Talk Sport. Make it a date. Get it?
Hi everybody, you're listening to Jim White and Simon Jordan. It's a World Cup warm-up with us live from Doha in Qatar. We're live in Talk Sport in partnership with EE, lead partner of the home nations teams. Let's do this together. Yes, we are here in Doha, very warm out there today. Of course, maybe that is to be expected, even at this time of the year. Simon's alongside me. Danny Murphy is with me as well. And of course, in our hotel last night, even late on, 2 a.m., we get in from the France match. The conversation was very much, sure, Mbappe in France had done brilliantly, but what about the news on Cristiano Ronaldo? Ronaldo and Manchester United had parted company. After that interview, very short statement from Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo is to leave Manchester United by mutual agreement with immediate effect. The club thanks him for his immense contribution across 2 spells at Old Trafford. Ronaldo didn't say much either. Following talks with Manchester United, we've mutually agreed to end our contract. Love United, love the fans, that will never change. It feels like the right time to seek a new challenge. Wonder what that is. I wish Manchester United all the best. Even when we were leaving the stadium last night after France's 4-1 win, there were journalists from all around the world on camera outside the stadium addressing this very topic. That the news had sunk in. Ronaldo and United had gone their separate ways, but what next for Ronaldo? We'll get Danny's taking it in a moment. Simon very strident on it, of course, as well. But this shows how much has changed on this topic, because this was Ronaldo when he joined United for a second time. And listen up, because then he spoke about that interview to Piers Morgan. Have a listen. This is him.
As you know, I had a fantastic history with this amazing club. I was there with 18 years old, and of course I'm so happy to be back home after 12 years. So I'm really glad and looking forward to start my first game.
They're trying to force you out?
Yes, not only the coach, but the other 2 or 3 guys there around the club.
At the senior executive level?
Yes, that I felt betrayed.
And you think they're trying to get rid of you?
Honestly, I shouldn't say that, I don't know, but listen, I don't care. People should listen the truth. Yes, I feel betrayed, and I felt that some people that don't want me here, not only this year, but last year too.
Simon, to me, there's the contrast is glaring regarding the way he departed first time around, 80 million quid United got, and he goes to Real Madrid, and now departing very much under a cloud.
Well, the landscape's very different for a multitude of reasons. When he departed, you had Alex Ferguson in situ, and you had a club that was still in ascendancy. Now you've got a club that's in a reformation mode and trying to recover ground after nearly the best part of a decade of treading water and making a lot of mistakes. And of course, with Man United being so focused on by people, that every mistake they make will be amplified. It's an unedifying departure. It's not a departure that should have been orchestrated that way. You know my view on the interview by Piers Winfrey. I thought it was an advertorial and ultimately a scenario where, Ronaldo left himself in a situation where there'll be mixed emotions about his views on things. Look, the mutual consent thing, everyone will argue about what that interview should and shouldn't be. I'm slightly conflicted about the nature of what he may have been authorised to do or not. One of the things that you do with these players is most of them have an obligation to be able to abide by certain contractual stipulations which prohibit them from being able to speak out in a way against the football club, bring it into disrepute. When you sign someone like Ronaldo, there might have been different things there that have enabled him to speak differently than other players because of the nature of the position that he's in. But the bottom line is, with all that to one side, whether it was an unauthorised interview or it required Manchester United to give him permission to speak to anybody, the bottom line is that he made observations that United would have easily been able to take into a situation as saying that is a breach of the understanding, whether explicit or implicit. And the mutual consent scenario, I've been down that route with both players and managers. It is a kind of drop hands. Look, we can have a fight about the money that we're owed under contract. We've got a fixed-term contract which keeps us in your employment until June of next year. We want the dough that's underneath that contract. United would push back and say, absolutely not. You've orchestrated this. You've behaved in a way which is bringing the football club into focus for all the wrong reasons. You are making allegations and assertions that you've not necessarily made to us. You've used a public domain to do it. And with that in mind, we'll be able to make you suffer economically for your contract. I personally, I know people may not agree with this, I would have, if I was Man United and the substance behind his assertions weren't there, I would have gone after him. Because I would have said,
what, legally?
The very last thing you're getting is any contractual obligations. The next thing you're going to get in the real world is some response from what you've said and an alternate view from us about the complications that you may now have as a result of besmirching our reputation. Now, of course, he's got...
So if you were at the top of United, you would sue him?
I would be inclined to be very robust about it. Now, other people I've spoken to are saying, well, Man United will just let it go because you move on and upward and it's not worth the energy. Sometimes these things are worth the energy. But the bottom line is everybody knew, inevitably, eventually, the situation was going to manifest itself. How it got to that stage, whether Ten Hag spoke to him and he promised him things that he didn't deliver, or whether Ten Hag didn't have the balls to deal with him in the first place and didn't deal with it properly, all of these things are for the birds. But Ronaldo leaving the football club in this way, there's no winners here. The only winners was an increase temporarily in the figures of a particular TV show. The bottom line is that Ronaldo comes out with a reputation that's not particularly enhanced. he looks around at the world, looks back on this with regret. United look at it and say, well, this was a waste of everybody's bloody time.
Well, and also, Simon, I take on board everything you're saying there. Danny, it affects Portugal at this World Cup. Because obviously it's the talk of their camp. Their coach Fernando Santos needs that like a hole in the head. And now Ronaldo was due to be speaking to the world's media ahead of their first game here in Qatar. Taking him out of the equation, they put in Bruno Fernandes, who will undoubtedly be asked about it. It's a major distraction they don't need.
I think Portugal for years have had the Ronaldo sideshow in every tournament for whatever reason, whether it be positive or negative. I think the players generally don't really care less what's going on with the other players at the clubs. Bruno's a bit different because he's engaged in the Manchester United thing.
Yeah, so Ronaldo goes, he stays.
Yeah, but he's already come out and said that initial Frosty video about the handshake was nothing, it was fine. You know, he's not going to jeopardise his friendship relationship, and certainly not. He's not going to do it now to the public and when they're supposed to be harmonious in a camp together. Just going back to what Simon said, I actually think when you say there's no winner's side, I think they both win. Oh, they both win. United.
They both win?
Yeah.
How does Ronaldo win?
Well, firstly, United win because they can move on.
He's gone in disgrace.
They can move on.
But they could have done this a different way, Dan. What they've had is a situation where an interviewer has looked at the mechanics of the football club, brought United into the public focus in a way that they wouldn't want to be brought in there. And Ronaldo looks like, you know, with the obvious exceptions of the tragedies in his life, it looks like a whine-a-thon from somebody that didn't get what he wanted, when he wanted, how he wanted it. So there isn't any winners.
Well, he is going to win because he's going to get to a club where he's going to play every week.
Well, on the
he wins.
Well, okay, it's the Greens have lost them.
Because is it like, give me that club, Danny. Where does he go? Where he's going to play every week?
Lisbon, whether he goes, who knows where he's going to end up? But someone will take him because he scores goals. And even if they take him on a short term till the end of the season, they'll take him. So his
legacy United's tarnished, isn't it?
Temporarily.
Surely permanently,
No.
Danny. You can't leave like this.
You know what it's like, Jim. It's a bit like relationships. Years gone by, you only remember the good. It's the same with footballers. If you talk about footballers now who you loved back in the day, you'll find misdemeanours and problems and interviews and silly things they did and bad behaviours and run-ins with the police and all those things. What do you talk about now? You talk about Gazza. Stevie G. I could give you things they did badly and you'd probably remember them. I'd trigger something in your memory. But your first memory is the good thing they did on the pitch. And in 5-10 years, when people talk about Ronaldo and they're telling their son or the grandkids, they'll be talking about the goals Ronaldo scored when he got 40 plus and when they won this and when they won that.
Well, we'll carry this on the other side of this upcoming bulletin at your time, 10:30. But what next for Cristiano Ronaldo? Who's going to take him? Where could he go? And what next for Manchester United? Further down the line, I'm going to go right into Simon now, but this situation regarding the Glazers, and are they really out of there soon? It's Jim White, Simon Jordan, Danny Murphy, live from Qatar on TalkSport.
For warm-up on TalkSport with EE. You can't always count on VAR getting it right, but you can count on EE broadband with smart Wi-Fi that reaches all around your home. Powered by BT. Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk.
I saved you the best gift till last.
Ooh, what is it?
Oh no, don't shake.
Wow, that's a lot of gravy.
Let the gravy flow. The KFC Gravy Double Bucket is back in stores this Christmas. So much chicken, loads of fries, popcorn chicken, hot wings, and 2 pots of KFC gravy. End 2nd of January. Participating restaurants only, subject to availability.
It's here with game after game of...
Whoa! Who's that? United need to sign him. No.
That number 9, he's proper class.
Discover more from a World Cup like no other with over £10 million in free bet giveaways, all on the UK's #1 betting app. Sky Bet. That's betting better. 18 plus begambleaware.org. Market restrictions may apply. No free bet expiry. Free bet stakes not included in returns. Eligibility restrictions and further T&Cs apply. Verify at skybet.com/1.
Some things leave you guessing. Like, why are yawns contagious? But not MailChimp. MailChimp eliminates guesswork from email marketing by analysing data from billions of emails to offer up personalised recommendations for how to improve your email content and targeting. Guess less and sell more with Intuit MailChimp.
Make this Christmas extra magical with 25% off all artificial Christmas trees and tree lights until the 11th of December. Available both in-store and online. And you can click and collect within 1 hour when you order before 4 p.m. Create the magic at home this Christmas with help from Homebase.
All right, listen up. Big day, yeah? England, the World Cup. Yes, it's Christmas. Yes, there's bits and bobs to do, but Christmas is once a year, right? The World Cup every 4 years. So let's get out there, get a good seat, show them what we're made of. That all right with you, Nan?
It's coming home!
The World Cup and Christmas together. Celebrate with a free bet builder on England v the USA. Paddy Power, where were you in 22? Pre-match online bets only. Min 4+ legs. Must have previously deposited. Free bet varies from £1 to £25 per customer. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Oh, big day of present wrapping ahead. But you can't really get started on an empty stomach. So maybe take a moment for you with the Mighty McMuffin with sausage, egg and bacon.
please.
Now at McDonald's. It's Christmas after all. Available until the 3rd of January 2023. Served before 11 a.m. Participating restaurants only, subject to availability.
Ooh. Half off isn't always a good thing, but with Sky Mobile, it is. Because this Black Friday, we've trimmed an incredible 50% off our 60 gig plan when you choose any new phone. Get a 60 gig plan at a snip this Black Friday, but hurry. This offer ends 28th of November. Go to sky.com/mobile. 50% off. Save £15 a month on 60 gigabyte data plan, normally £30 a month with any other phone over 36 months. Offer lost if you mix your plan. Not available with any other offers. Terms apply.
TalkSport. Sports Update.
The TalkSport headlines at 10:33. I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola signed a 2-year contract extension at the club and says he couldn't be in a better place. Guardiola will now stay at the Etihad till 2025. Manchester United fans are celebrating too this morning after owners the Glazers have announced they're considering selling the club after 17 years. Meanwhile, Cristiano Ronaldo, who's no longer a Man United player, is skipping Portugal's press conference today out in Qatar. Harry Kane's having a scan on his right ankle ahead of England's game with the USA on Friday. While France defender Luca Hernandez has been ruled out of the rest of the World Cup, he injured his knee in their win over Australia. And Croatia versus Morocco is 0-0 after 33 minutes. The game is live over on TalkSport 2 now.
It's stronger than the dynamos of Hoover Dam in motion. Dealy boppers, popsicles, and fries. Dude, don't miss the Super Soccer Sensation Showdown of the century as the mighty United States of America play Ye Old Merry England. Starts with a whoop-whoop ticker-tape pre-match build-up parade from 6. Then kick off at 7 with expert in-game analysis and most excellent post-match weenie roast and phone-in from 10.
Yeah. England versus the United States of whatever. Friday night, live and as loud as him from 6 on TalkSport.
Great football talk sport! Can we do 7:30? I got an orthodontist at 7.
27 degrees right now here in this part of the world in Qatar. You're listening to Jim White, Simon Jordan, World Cup warm-up. Danny Murphy is with us. We're live in TalkSport in partnership with EE, full fibre broadband that can handle anything. At the moment, Croatia trying to handle Morocco. It's goalless in that match right now. You can catch it live, of course, on TalkSport 2. Commentary from Mark Wilson and former England defender Mickey Gray on duty for that one. Some great games coming your way. And, of course, it's all about the World Cup. It's all about this thing. Who's going to get their hands on this thing in a few weeks from now? Will it be Portugal? Ironically, will it be Ronaldo? Who knows? Ronaldo will not be speaking to the media, we hear, over in Qatar before their first match. It will be Bruno Fernandes, who will undoubtedly be asked, what's your take on what's happened to Ronaldo, now no longer of Manchester United, and what's next for him? That's what Simon, myself and Danny are looking at the moment. What is next for him? Danny, it's our understanding Chelsea not looking to be the likely berth for Cristiano Ronaldo. Simon and I were with Todd Bowley the other day. That didn't come from him, incidentally, but that's what we're hearing this morning. What's your take on it? Is there another Premier League club for Cristiano Ronaldo?
Highly unlikely, I would imagine. Highly unlikely. I mean, there's plenty of clubs that, there's plenty of clubs that would want him or need him. If you think of him going, I don't know, somewhere like Everton, they desperately need a goal scorer. He'd do them proud, but he's not going to go there. But Chelsea, I don't think, should be trying to get him. They've got Aubameyang, who in some ways is similar in terms of he's got a bit more legs about him, but you carry him a little bit in terms of the defensive. And the way Potter wants to play, it's not somebody you'd want. And the other thing is, with Graham Potter, he's shown already he likes mixing the team up, week in, week out. And if that continues, Ronaldo doesn't want to go somewhere. He's sat on the bench.
Well, Simon, here's the thing. In our hotel this morning, one or two of the media from various parts of the planet were suggesting surely Newcastle will be interested.
Yeah, no, I heard a funny little rumour doing the rounds amongst a group of talking heads that may have some understanding of these things. and they were exploring the dynamics of this alleged Saudi Arabia deal, and looking at the scenario and suggesting, and it was a suggestion, and it was a little thought through, and with a sort of nod and a wink that they knew what they were talking about, that he'd go into Newcastle and then find himself in Saudi. Now, given the nature of the ownership model that's in Newcastle, whilst it flies in the face of what we're being told Newcastle's motivations are, they've got a very balanced team that are going very well at the moment in time. They've talked about not tripping the light fantastic and being overly ridiculous. I still think spending a couple $100 million is, a massive departure from what they've done before. Let's get some context.
Yeah.
But I think there is a discussion that could possibly find itself in the world of Ronaldo landing in Newcastle.
No chance.
You don't think so?
I don't, for a couple of reasons. One is they've already got Isak, who spent a lot of money on, who's going to need game time, and him and Wilson sharing that role. So if you throw Ronaldo into that, what happens with Isak? Furthermore, when you look at what Eddie Howe's trying to achieve and the way he's playing with that Newcastle side, front foot, high tempo, press, all those, the unity, stability, team spirit, I think even if they offered him on a plate, Eddie Howe would say no thanks.
I don't disagree.
But does he get you into the Champions League if you're Newcastle? Here's one for you.
No.
Does he?
No, I think if Newcastle are going to get there, they'll do it because of their philosophy, the way they're playing. They've already got quality. No, I don't think he enhances that chance for them.
OK, we're going to stick with Manchester United because, again, amongst many, many foreign journalists this morning, not least journalists from the UK, a lot of the talks around Manchester United, Simon, regarding the Glazers. Last night, hugely respected correspondent at Sky News, Mark Kleinman, broke the exclusive. Manchester United's owners, the Glazer family, are to explore a sale of the club as part of a review of options that could also include selling a minority interest. An outright sale would bring to an end 17 years of controversial ownership. So, Simon, it begs the question, are United fans one step closer to getting their wish? Glazers out?
Well, we spoke about this earlier on in the year, and specifically after the Chelsea sell, and we talked about the nature of what was going on in football, and I spoke to you about the American marketplace, the maturing of the attitude in the banking community, and looking at the industry with a very different set of eyes. So with that in mind, the Rain Group now have had their whistles wetted by the sale of Chelsea, and they are being motivated. You've got Fenway in the mix as well with their ideals about what they think they can and can't get. And we spoke about it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, about the idea that United would be in play at about 6 or 7 billion. Every day of the week and twice on Sunday, if they're getting into that territory, the Glazers will sell, because the return on investment will be phenomenal, the benefits of the outcome will be vast.
So what are they looking for then? Confirm that for me, Simon. What's the asking price?
Well, you're looking at the idea that it's being punted around by certain factions, and specifically the Rain Group, that are now at the front and centre of looking at football finance and doing deals in the American marketplace, and they're alluding to between a 6 and 8 billion pound price tag. Now, when we originally spoke about it, and Chelsea deal was done at 2.5 billion, I said to you, I think that if United were to get 4 to 5 billion, the Glazers will be tempted. Then I got some various discussions with some guys in America that are saying they think they can get, Rain Group think they can get 6 and 7 billion for this. Now, the Glazers' ears will prick up.
Yeah.
Because when you get to 6 and 7 billion, you're now talking about a return on investment, which is absolutely phenomenal. You're getting to the top end of where these valuations are for the next half a decade, I suspect.
Is it really that much more than Chelsea? What was Chelsea? 2 billion, 2.5?
Chelsea was a very different dynamic, wasn't it? It was a distressed sale being forced upon the owner by the very nature of the circumstances in the Ukraine and Russian conflict. So there was a very different situation. It was already in a situation where the guy could no longer own that business. It was just a matter of getting him out of there at a price that would make the market move on it. And even then, at 2.5 billion, I think everyone took a breath in.
Yeah.
Is it really going to go for 2.5 billion with commitments to spending another 1.75 billion?
In this part of the world, Simon, someone would stump up between 6 and 8 for Manchester
Possibly.
United. Can they make money on that, Simon?
Well, it depends what you listen. Can you make money on 44 billion pounds of a purchase of Twitter? The idea is, what do you want to use it? What do you want to use it for? And the challenge that we have sitting in this part of the world, and I'll say it, and I don't care if it makes me particularly unpopular in this part of the world, do we want a lot of our football clubs being owned by Middle Eastern money and American money, and the challenges that go with it? This is an American deal. It might be in part funded by Middle Eastern guys, but if it's an American financiers that are looking at this deal, dollars for donuts, it'll be in America. The problem is, and Man United fans can sit there and go, great, that's out, now get rid of these Herberts. When someone comes through the door after spending 7 or 8 billion to buy this football club, what do you think they're going to do? Give you precisely what you want? they're going to give you what they want to give you on the basis of what they've paid for that football club.
And
in the same way that Todd Bowley would do the same at Chelsea.
You and I have heard some crazy conversations around money whilst we've been out here in Qatar. In the box the other day that we happened to be in for the England game, we heard, and it was confirmed to us by no less than Nasser Al-Khelaifi, that yes, PSG, an offer was in of €4 billion. And in fact, the individual who made the offer, we just missed when we walked into the box. So they're here.
These boys
amongst us.
These boys know there is a new generation of ownership models coming into football, and they are looking at it. They're looking at the commercial opportunities. They're looking at the manner in which they can communicate with eyes around the world, the anonymizing of data to be able to ascertain what people want to watch when they want to watch it. They're looking at the broadcast deals. Bowley and his guys are as smart as paint. They've got to get their gap. They've got to get their feet in two camps. They've got to get their feet in the commercial world and in the football world and understand the parlance of football. And some would say, and it's been said, and I said to Todd Bowley, Graham Sound, this is a view of him, and he didn't know anything, and he's got to get his pants pulled down, but they've got to get understanding of the football market.
I don't think he'd heard of Graham, I'm not sure.
Well, he did after I made sure that next time he bumps into Graham, he can make sure that Graham knows that I told him
But
that.
why now, Simon? The big movers and shakers, why now are we hearing that FSG might be on the point of getting out? Why now are we hearing that the Glazers could be close to getting out?
For a variety of reasons. One of them will be because of places like where we're sitting now, which is the vast amount of money in countries like this that have different agendas. Nation states owning football clubs still trouble me, and what their motivations are, no one can deny it, that there's soft influence being utilised in those spaces. The marketplace is beginning to have a different view. Once upon a time, and up until certainly the last 5 or 6 years, banking looked at football as an industry that you can't rely on it. It's not a banking proposition. It doesn't make any sense. The return on investment isn't there. The scale of opportunity is difficult, the uncertainties, the immaturity of the marketplace, all of those things, but they're now looking at it differently.
Right.
And when Rain Group got away the Chelsea sale, and then when Redbird bought into Fenway and took some of their media rights for 20% and gave them 500 million quid or whatever it was, you're starting to see football being looked at as a commercial proposition. Now, be careful what you want from that.
Of course.
The rules change.
Why does it trouble you then?
Why does it trouble me? Well, because it changes the dynamics of football from being a game that was about sport, and it becomes a game about commerce and opportunities for other people. Now, that's the reality of it. But also with nation states owning football clubs, it should trouble us all. Because we're sitting in a country that, whilst we're being very well looked after and the people over here are delightful, there are influences in sport that we don't necessarily want sport to be leveraged for. And soft influence and political gain and World Cups being awarded and FIFA being the organisation that they are, undue influence should be a concern. And also with the Americans. I'm not suggesting it's just this part of the world. Anybody that wants to own a football club for different reasons than a football club being something that's valued, can be part of a community and can be economically viable for anybody, should be concerning, because there is so much influence that football has.
Do you think the Glazers are on their way out? A year from now, will they still be there? You probably said to me the other day, yeah, they'll still be there. Have you changed that view now?
Well, they'll be there, Jim, until someone comes along and writes them a cheque which makes them say yes. Now, if someone comes along in this conversation, if you're the Glazers and someone offers you 7, the natural pushback would be, I'll have 7.5, I'll have 8. If you're in a territory now where someone and the market is at a price, my likely view on this is that they'll sell a piece of United in the same way that I think Nasser Al-Khelaifi will sell a piece of PSG rather than all of it.
Doesn't that narrow the market of buyers, though, if you're only selling a piece? Because isn't there ego involved as well?
Well, depends what that piece is for, and depends if it's a entrance point. It's like the guy that bought some shares in West Ham is going to end up owning West Ham. The Americans that bought a position in Palace are the majority shareholders in Crystal Palace now, and at this scale, there'll be an ultimate owner out of it.
Do you think there's somebody out there in this part of the world who'd cough up between 6 and 8 bill for Manchester United?
I think there's somebody in America that will cough up that kind of money.
Okay. So are Manchester United fans a lot closer today to getting their wish? Many of you wanted the Glazer out. Do you feel now you're getting closer to the Glazers getting shifted out of there? Now, we're in Doha, Qatar. Of course, we're 3 hours ahead of you. Give us a call on that. We'll see what we can do. Might take the odd call on the show this morning. Why not? Bit different. 03717 223344. Glazers out. You closer to it? And if it happens, would you be happy that it's happened? Give us a call.
wine with Juicer. Score some great rewards, like a party bundle, including beer and a takeaway voucher, bottles of wine, or love to shop vouchers. Just spend at least £400 excluding VAT on collected orders before November the 30th. And the more you spend, the more you score. Terms and conditions apply. Account holders only. Registration required. For details, see juicer.co.uk.
It's here with game after game of... Whoa! Who's that?
United need to sign him. No.
That number 9, he's proper class.
Discover more from a World Cup like no other, with over £10 million in free bet giveaways, all on the UK's #1 betting app. Sky Bet. That's betting better. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Market restrictions may apply. No free bet expiry. Free bet stakes not included in returns. Eligibility restrictions and further T&Cs apply. Verify at skybet.com/1.
This season,
Delivery.
Prime Video is delivering the entire 2022 Rugby Autumn Nation Series to your door. This Saturday, watch Wales versus Australia, kicking off at 3:15, and England versus South Africa, kicking off at 5:30. Exclusively on Prime Video this year.
I saved you the best gift till last.
Ooh, what is it?
Oh no, don't shake.
Wow, that's a lot of gravy.
Let the gravy flow. The KFC Gravy Double Bucket is back in stores this Christmas. So much chicken, loads of fries, popcorn chicken, hot wings, and 2 pots of KFC gravy. End 2nd of January. Participating restaurants only, subject to availability.
Does your broadband slither around your home? And at peak times, do things feel a little constricted? Well, not when you get full fiber broadband from EE. You get the peak time speeds you pay for. Count on EE, full fiber broadband, powered by BT.
Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk/coverage.
It's Black Friday on manomano.co.uk. Enjoy our fantastic offers. Your savings start now.
DIY, home and garden. manomano.co.uk. You've got this.
And it's also Black Friday on Mano Mano Pro, the site and app for professionals. Offers valid from the 22nd to the 28th of November. Visit manomano.co.uk and Mano Mano Pro for details.
You win some, you lose some. That's why at Mr. Q, the online casino, they've got hundreds of games where it's not all about winning, but playing for the fun of it. So, for a bit of no-nonsense fun and 20 free spins on Fishing Frenzy the Big Catch with your first deposit, get yourself over to MrQ.com. 18 plus, begambleaware.org, £10 deposit required. All winnings uncapped and credited to your balance. Full T's and C's apply.
Talk Sport. Wall-to-wall World Cup coverage on 1089 and 1053 kilohertz on your medium wave, on your mobile and on your smart speaker. Official broadcaster of FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022, Talk Sport.
Good morning, it's just gone 11 o'clock. I'm Jenny Barsby. Scotland will need Westminster's permission to hold Indy Ref 2.
Dan England wait for news on Harry Kane's ankle injury.
Talk Sport.
A blow to Scotland's First Minister with this announcement this morning from the Supreme Court.
The Scottish Parliament does not have the power to legislate for a referendum on Scottish independence.
Nicola Sturgeon wanted to hold a second vote without the permission of Westminster. She says she's disappointed by the ruling, but still believes there is a case for another referendum. Speculations mounting as to who might step forward to buy Manchester United after the Glazer brothers announced they're considering selling up after 17 years. The pair are extremely unpopular with supporters who've accused them of a lack of investment and saddling the club with too much debt. The Times chief sports correspondent Matt Lawton says whoever buys it will need deep pockets.
You could argue that Manchester United is the biggest football brand in the world. They claim to have over 1 billion fans. And for that reason, where we just saw Chelsea going for sort of 2.5 billion plus add-ons, they're thinking more in terms of 6 to 8 billion.
And Brazilian journalist Victor Pereira has told TalkSport how he was targeted by a Qatari official for holding a regional Brazilian flag which has a rainbow on it.
He took this flag, threw it on the ground, and started to tremble on the flag. And then I started to record him doing this. And then he took my cell phone from my hand
This comes as the Foreign Secretary James Cleverly has had what he's described as a difficult conversation with his Qatari counterparts over the safety of gay fans at the World Cup. Meanwhile, the German FA is taking FIFA to the Court of Arbitration for Sport over its ban on team captains wearing One Love armbands at the tournament.
Talk Sport weather.
A band of heavy rain and strong winds will move eastwards across all parts of the country through the day. Brighter weather following from the west, but mixed with blustery showers.
TalkSport Sports Update, brought to you by Just Eat. Score a match-time meal deal on Just Eat. Order on the app today. Terms and conditions apply.
Harry Kane is having a scan on his right ankle today ahead of England's second World Cup group game with the USA on Friday. Kane was seen limping after the win over Iran. TalkSport's England correspondent Faye Carruthers thinks the scan is just a precaution. She watched England training yesterday.
And I was told that he was inside with the rest and that there was no problem at all. And then it came out Tuesday night that he was going to be going for a scan. Now, to me, for somebody who has a history of ankle problems, that kind of makes sense to me.
Meanwhile, France's injury problems keep mounting. Defender Lucas Hernandez is out of the World Cup after rupturing his ACL in their win over Australia. But there's some good news for South Korea. Captain Son Heung-min's been past fit for their World Cup opener against Uruguay tomorrow. Now, teammates of Wales defender Nico Williams have praised his bravery for playing in the World Cup just 24 hours after his grandfather died. Williams was in tears after he was subbed off in Wales' 1-1 draw with the USA on Monday night. Winger Harry Wilson says the team is in awe of Nico's strength.
Nick showed great courage and bravery to play the game. I think everybody knows to lose a family member is never easy, but to do it on the eve of his first ever World Cup game and then supporting the performance he did as well, I thought he was fantastic.
Wales play Iran on Friday morning. It's live on Talk Sport. And Pep Guardiola says he couldn't be in a better place after signing a 2-year contract extension at Manchester City. He'll stay at the Etihad till 2025. The manager says his City team has to do better as they hunt a first Champions League title.
Hello, I'm Jon Snow, and here are the headlines. Save the Children's Christmas Jumper Day is on Thursday the 8th of December.
Whoa there, John. Coach Christmas here. Way too serious.
Of course, what am I thinking? Save the Children's Christmas Jumper Day is back, and this year it's twice as good as ever before. That's because the government has promised to match your donations by up to £2 million. Your donations just got doubled. Sign up your work, school or friends at christmasjumperday.org.
TalkSport online, on your mobile, and on your super smart speaker. World Cup Game Day warm-up with Jim White and Simon Jordan on TalkSport.
It's our mentality, no?
Yeah.
We in Argentina, we grew up playing like that, you know. The only thing we want is win the match. And we play for that. You have a big history in the World Cup. I saw you today. They scored a lot, but I saw a little mistake defending. That is no good thing, especially when you play a World Cup.
Romero on the edge of the 6-yard area. The shot comes in. Oh, it's a goal! And it's a wonderful goal. What a terrific strike. It is from Salim El Dazri. And Saudi Arabia are in front. Argentina, one of the favourites for the World Cup, are pegged back at the start of the second half. And what a strike that is for Salim El Dazri. And are we on the cusp of the first real shot of Qatar 2022? Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 2.
We were indeed, and what a shock it was. Saudi Arabian fans in this part of the world still celebrating today that amazing victory over Argentina. And of course, before a ball was kicked in that match, the one and only Gabriel Batistuta, you heard him saying to me, we're here to win it, we want to win it, and of course we need goals in the match coming up. And the match that was coming up was against Saudi Arabia, and they lost it by 2-1. Is that the biggest World Cup shock ever? Danny Murphy is alongside Simon and myself here on the outskirts of Doha this morning. For you, it's 11 o'clock back there in the UK. It's 2 p.m. here in the afternoon. Danny, what was your take on that? I mean, did anyone see it coming?
Gobsmacked. I was gobsmacked in a good way, because you know, seeing a giant killing, it's the biggest shock I've ever seen. It was It was weird, really, because what they did is they played a real high line and really went after Argentina. They're unbeaten in 36 games. Most teams that play Argentina give them respect and drop off them. So they mixed it up and they went after them. Now, they had the 3 disallowed goals trying to beat that high line. And with a bit more nous, and if they knew they were going to do it, just holding their run a little bit, the game would have been done. I don't think they've played against a team that goes after them like that before, and it shocked them a little bit. And what happened in the second half, they got the goals. When they got 1-1, the confidence and athleticism of that, I mean, how fit were they, by the way?
Oh, amazing.
They went after them. And they got a wonderful second, give them some of themselves to hang on to. And then, of course, the panic sets in and the anxiety in the play and forcing it too much near the end. If Argentina played them again every week for the next year, and they played like that, they'd now know and they'd work out. They'd beat them 4 or 5.
It's amazing they didn't know, wasn't it?
Well, it's fractions, isn't it? Because at one stage in the first half, you're thinking, you're waiting for the second. You're waiting for it's disallowed. It'll just inevitably happen.
Yeah.
But it's hard to change momentum when it goes to 1-1 or 2-1 because everyone then drops off. But what was so impressive about Saudi, they obviously had a plan, which was great. And I love seeing a team that's got a plan. But you've got to act out the plan. And to act out that particular tactical plan, you need phenomenal legs and attitude. But it wasn't just the press. The best thing about their play, and the thing that I admired more in the second half, was if you ever want to watch and give a lesson to a football team on recovery runs. You know, when you think you're out the game and they might be in, every one of them, I'm talking 40 yards, 50 yards, 60-yard recovery runs at full sprint.
Straight back.
To get a toe in.
Yeah.
To get a block in.
Yeah.
Just to get numbers back in. It was an amazing... you could use it as a brilliant example to kids on you're never out. You know, when you think...
Sure thing. And Simon, I know you as a proud Englishman, nobody more proud, that... When Batistuta said to me, you know, England maybe have a problem defensively, you need to watch that area. We are all about goals and we're going after goals today.
Absolutely.
You had a wry smile on your face, didn't you, when you saw that scoreline after Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia 2, Argentina 1.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I don't know, Dan, will everyone else look at it and say that's the way we will play against Argentina?
Well, funnily enough, it's a great point. And the next game, which they have to win against Mexico, although they didn't do particularly well against Poland, what Mexico have got is legs and energy. The only thing is that Argentina and Mexico, they do know each other quite well, of course, from playing against each other so often. But they will look... I think you have to look at it. I was looking at the Argentina team, and sometimes, you know, you easily get drawn on the narrative of the press. They're unbeaten on 35, they've got Messi, they must be one of the favourites. When I actually looked at the game and we were going through the players, I mean, I'll ask you now, how many of those players get in our team? 2?
Possibly.
No more than 3.
Okay.
And even if Messi you'd fit Messi in, obviously. Maybe Romero would get in at centre-half when he's at it. I know he's been injured for Tottenham.
Okay, well, I'll tell you...
A lot of observations about Otamendi being put in rather than Lisandro Martinez, but they didn't lose that game because they didn't play Lisandro Martinez, did they?
No. I tell you who wants to get in that England team, and it's Callum Wilson. And you know what, Danny? He just might. England against the USA over in this neck of the woods. It's a late kickoff. It's 10 p.m. Local time here on Friday night at the Al Bayt Stadium. The reason I say that about Callum Wilson is that Harry Kane, we now know out here, Danny, set to have a scan on his right ankle after suffering that heavy challenge in the match against Iran. How would you feel about Wilson coming in for a start?
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. He's playing the best football of his life. He actually, although Harry Kane's got obvious qualities that Wilson hasn't, but vice versa. I mean, if you look at our 11 the other night, Kane's the only one who doesn't do the pressing, that high intense press. Wilson does it for Newcastle. So actually, if he comes in, you could go full steam ahead, leading from the front. Him. Kane doesn't do that. It brings you other things. That's why he's in the team. But I think it gives us a different dynamic. I mean, I'm not suggesting he's better than Kane, but he's different. And I think with his fitness and his power and his speed, I don't think it's kind of, sometimes you look at players and you think they're both great for different reasons, but actually he gives us something different. And I don't worry about him starting at all if he has.
Sure, Danny, one thing that we are experiencing in our hotel is a lot of the chat around us is about, the Saudis yesterday, but Bellingham. A lot of people talking to us about Jude Bellingham at 19. what do we think as members of the UK media? What do we think is next for Bellingham? A star man for England the other day. Now, Simon, I don't know at 19. What we do know is he's extremely well looked after and guided, not least by his family.
Absolutely.
One wonders. Match 1, Bellingham wrote the headline.
Sure.
Along with Saka, but specifically Jude, one wonders where this is going to go.
Well, I mean, I expect him to have a good tournament. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. And certainly in the group stages, when you look at the USA and you look at what they had on against Wales, you think that Bellingham will impose himself upon that particular part of the field. I think the player, as developing by going to German football, I think he made probably a wise decision. If you look at the way that he speaks and the times that he does speak to the media, if you look at the fact he's the captain of the club that he plays for at Germany, there's so much, but you also got to hold some back because he is 19 years of age, and it is phenomenal the level. He's gone in a straight line, and very few things in life go in straight lines. You have peaks and troughs. So whilst I expect him to be impactful, there might be every now and again when we're playing against stronger opposition where he has a slightly more quiet game, and I don't think the narrative should be a bad day. We've got a real player here.
A gem.
We've got a real player.
You've got a gem.
Yeah.
Danny, it's your position. What were you like when you were 19?
Oh, nowhere like him.
So what's he got?
He's got that wonderful gift of being able to do the destructive side, which is hard yards, running back, tackling. He's got a little bit of tenacity about him. You can see him, he gets angry, puts himself about, but he's a creator. He's a match winner as well. I think he's more suited to being a match winner, i.e. playing a bit ahead of someone who's sitting for him, because he gets in the box, as we've seen for Dortmund many times, and scores goals. Early in the game, he did something that I was thinking, he is well up for this, and this takes real maturity to do it at his age. So he was playing ahead of Rice with Mount, really. But what he did early in the game, he started running past Mount to get it off the back four. And he did something that we used to call follow the ball when you want to get touches and get involved in the game. Senior players say to you, just follow the ball. That means wherever if the ball's a left back, go and get it. The ball's with a right back, go and get it. Centre half, get it. Right winger, go over, get it. If you keep following the ball, you'll get touches. And it's exactly what he did. He went past Rice 2 or 3 times, whether Declan told him not to or it didn't matter. He was going past him to go and get the ball. I want to get some touches, I want to influence the game. But the next thing is, he doesn't get obsessed with it. The next thing is get himself in the box. He's got that great knack of knowing when to drop and when to get forward, but I still think the system we played suited him perfectly. If he changes later on, Gareth, and I hope he doesn't, for whoever we play against, and plays a 3-4-3, and you put him alongside Declan, it's more defensive responsibility, and you lose that wonderful ability he's got to get in the box and score a goal. But
sure.
He is a gem. The only question is where he's going to end up.
Oh, that's right. Well, he's with Borussia Dortmund at the moment.
Well, they're saying he'd be gone in the summer, aren't they?
Hamsik and Vachka at Borussia Dortmund said the other day, of course, we realise that the big guns come calling, we can't compete, we'll see. But you've got to think Bellingham, at his age, 2026, of course he'll be around 2032, or what am I looking at, 2030. Of course he'll be around 2034. Where will I be then, Danny? You're dead right. I know where Jude will be.
Probably in a nursing home somewhere.
At a World Cup finals, no doubt, with England. But will he make this one count?
Simon going to visit you 3 times
Qatar 2022. He's trying to put me off my track here now. I refuse to be
clean your chin as you have your dinner.
You didn't. That was very kind of you. The big news out here, of course, it's domestic news that pertains to back home. But as expected, Pep Guardiola has signed a lucrative new deal with Manchester City. What does that mean for the rest? We're live in Doha.
The warm-up on TalkSport with EE. You can't always count on a great result for your team, but you can count on EE full fibre broadband to give you the speeds you pay for, even at peak times. Powered by BT. Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk.
Did you know over 500,000 Sky Bet customers use deposit limits to help manage their betting budget, enough to fill 5 whole cops? 3 Vicarage Roads. And still have enough left over to fill 2 cup finals and 1 home of football. All good bookmakers have deposit limits, so whoever you bet with, set an appropriate one and enjoy the sport. Deposit limits. That's betting better. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Wrapping presents fast so no one gets to peek. Last minute asks for guests to have a seat. Race for the best spot to watch the TV.
at IKEA, with everything you need to be a great host. From tables and seating to gifts, decorations and Swedish treats. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
My dad's a builder. He reckons there's nothing he can't do, unless it's anything to do with his phone. He's got a Travis Perkins trade account, but he hasn't downloaded the app. So I did it for him. Now he gets his own personalised discounts, he can check stock on the go at any branch, and he has all his Travis Perkins invoices in one place to keep track of costs. So he's very, very happy. His joke, not mine. Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Open a trade account and download the app at travisperkins.co.uk.
You win some, you lose some. That's why at Mr. Q, the online casino, they've got hundreds of games where it's not all about winning, but playing for the fun of it. So, for a bit of no-nonsense fun and 20 free spins on Fishing Frenzy the Big Catch with your first deposit, get yourself over to MrQ.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. £10 deposit required. All winnings uncapped and credited to your balance. All T's and C's apply.
Yeti was having a bad fur day. Again. Poor love. So when he heard there was up to 40% off in the Amazon Black Friday week, he treated himself to a volumizing hairdryer. So he could be furry and fabulous. Looking fly, hairy guy. Get up to 40% off in the Amazon Black Friday week. Ends 28th of November.
From Paddy Power Records, Crouchy conducts The Classics, an unmissable album of football terrace chants performed by some of the greatest stars of classical music, featuring the enduring, the uplifting, and the festive. Masterpieces for you to own. Crouchy conducts The Classics from Paddy Power Records, the perfect gift this Christmas. Download it now.
Available on Spotify, Apple Music and Amazon Music. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
Traffic and Travel on Talk Sport, presented by EE Full Fibre Broadband, powered by BT.
Simon Weir dealing with a broken down crane at the Coal House roundabout affecting you joining the northbound side at junction 67. There's flooding West Yorkshire on the M62 east towards Brighouse at junction 25. An accident in the West Midlands before Birmingham at 6 Spaghetti Junction across 2 of the 4 lanes. A whole Leicestershire on the M1 south before 21 at Leicester where there's been an accident. 2 lorries are involved. Nottinghamshire congestion Ilkeston area avoiding the A609 closure at Trowell. I'm Sarah Elliott.
Get the latest TUI deals. We have great offers on loads of TUI holidays. Here we come. You can save up to £200 per booking. Plus, live happy all year with up to £150 worth of rewards per person. Dreamy. All ATOL protected. So don't miss out. Offers now on TUI. Live happy. Booking T's and C's apply. Selected departures. Minimum spend applies. See website for details.
The FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Hear every fixture live and on location on Talk Sport.
In the zone on Talk Sport with William Hill. Get epic value or tournament with William Hill. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome along, everybody. At this stage in the proceedings over here in Doha in Qatar, we're going to look at the latest odds ahead of today's matches with William Hill. And right now, Morocco up against Croatia. It is goalless, so well into the second half of this match. And I tell you, they're playing over here in 28-degree heat. But of course, air conditions help at the stadium. Let's get the in-play odds now. I'm delighted. He's been with us before. He's with us again. I'm delighted. Young Mr. Phelps joins us live on the show from William Hill. Lee, William Hill Ambassador, good to speak to you, my friend. What have you got? What about in-play odds, Lee, regards Morocco-Croatia?
Yeah, currently 15-4 Morocco. The draw 10-11. Odds on the draw. And 2-1 Croatia. That probably tells you all you need to know about this one with just under 65 gone. The draw odds on already. So, if you're looking for a win, either team to win 1-0 is currently enhanced to 15-8. So you just need a goal for either side. But the traders think this is going to end the way it is at the minute, 0-0. And stop making me jealous. It's less than 0, I think, in the UK at the moment.
Oh, gee. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, I can assure you. Lee, Danny and I were at the stadium last night to watch the French beat Australia by 4-1. We were wowed by Kylian Mbappe, but very impressed by Olivier Giroud. So outright and Golden Boot update regarding that French win. What can you do for us?
Yeah, France went second favourites behind Brazil. Brazil still clear favourites at 3-1. Haven't played yet, of course. Haven't seen them yet. France now 6-1. England then 13-2. Argentina, fourth favourites after that defeat to Saudi Arabia, 15-2. And then we've got Spain at 9s, Germany at 10s, and the Dutch at 11s, Portugal 14s, and Belgium 16s, then 28-1 and bigger the rest of them. In terms of the Golden Boot, well, Kylian Mbappe was the favourite, still the favourite after his goal. He's 11-2 to be the top scorer at the World Cup this year. Olivier Giroud, big move, into 8-1 after that brace. Lionel Messi 8-1, Neymar 10s, Harry Kane just keeps drifting and drifting, now 14-1. Interestingly enough, Bukayo Saka is 16-1 next in the betting. Then comes Ronaldo at 18s. Lautaro Martinez, who I think the way he played yesterday, if Argentina gets some wins under their belt, could be a decent look at 20-1 as well, but wide open.
Yeah, that's interesting. So on Kane, possibly injured for the next match. Tell me about who's going to be England's top goal scorer in regards to the tournament. Has it shifted?
Well, this is the interesting thing. I've just given you the Golden Boot odds there, and Harry Kane 14-1, Saka 16-1. Top goal scorer for England with William Hill. Saka's the favourite at 7-4. Harry Kane 11-4. Sterling 9-2. Rashford 12-1. Jude Bellingham 16-1, and then Jack Grealish 16. They're all the goal scorers, aren't they, who we've seen so far. What's interesting, listening to your discussion earlier on, is about Callum Wilson. Now, we know what kind of form he's been in for his club. Scored 6 goals already this season. If you can make an argument in your own head that Harry Kane doesn't play much more of a part in this tournament, we hope that's not true, but let's say that happens, and Callum Wilson does come in, he is 40-1, 40-1, to be England's top goal scorer at the World Cup, which, look, I know it's a bit of a gamble, but it's a big price if he gets a start.
Yes, indeed. Okay, very interesting. Lee, thanks very much indeed. You might do yourself a big favour by going with Callum Wilson then. That was a look at the latest odds thanks to William Hill. Get epic odds with William Hill. Terms, conditions apply. You've got to be 18 and over. BeGambleAware.org.
In the Zone on TalkSport with William Hill. Get epic value or tournament with William Hill. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
This one's live on TalkSport 2. It's Morocco against Croatia. Morocco very close to breaking the deadlock moments ago. Let's dip into it. Commentary from Mark Wilson, and alongside Mark is former England defender Mickey Gray.
From Croatia. And welcome along to listeners on TalkSport who join us here with 68 minutes on the clock. It's Morocco 0, Croatia 0. Quite a tight affair. Both sides looking to get forward, but chances have been quite limited. The best chance of the first half fell to Croatia. It was Nikola Vlasic at the near post, denied by a fine save from the Moroccan goalkeeper Bunu. And we've seen a couple of chances in the second half for Morocco. A header from Masrai was comfortably saved, and we've just seen a free kick from fully 30 yards out from Hakimi stick the palms of Livakovic. We're live on TalkSport 2. Mickey Gray, former England defender, alongside me, and it's been a tight, cagey affair so far.
Yeah, it certainly has. Not too many great opportunities in the game. It's one of those games, Mark, where you're talking about it, where we need a goal just to make things open up a little bit. Croatia now, a lot of possession, but what can they do with it in that final third? Where's that little bit of quality that's needed?
Morocco were getting plenty of bodies forward in that first half, but just signs maybe that they're starting to settle for what they've got.
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? Tired legs. See, the back line has certainly dropped a lot deeper than they did in the first half. The midfield are just in front of them and making Croatia play patient football, waiting for their opportunities to try and break them down.
Well, this game is live on TalkSport 2 through to a conclusion. If you've got the TalkSport app, you can swipe left and right between TalkSport and TalkSport 2. You can ask your smart speaker to play TalkSport 2, but it's 0-0. 20 minutes left. Morocco 0, Croatia 0.
I think it's time for changes.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Of course, all the action on TalkSport coming your way today. Later on today, after this one, it's Germany against Japan. Thereafter that, at 4 o'clock, you'll be treated to Spain. Many people's dark horse for this tournament, Spain against Costa Rica. And then this evening, it's Belgium against Canada. Our first chance to have a look at what Belgium may or may not do in this tournament. We're coming up to half past the hour. It's 2:30 over in this part of the world. You're 3 hours behind us. It's Jim White, is Danny Murphy, and alongside us, of course, the one and only Mr. Simon Jordan. We're live on TalkSport in Doha, Qatar.
The warm-up on TalkSport with EE. You can't always count on VAR getting it right, but you can count on EE broadband with smart Wi-Fi that reaches all around your home. Powered by BT. Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk.
When you bet fair on the World Cup, you can use our handy app to place your bet builders, and you get your hands on some pretty decent handouts too. Get a completely free £2 bet builder on a World Cup match every day this week. That'll come in handy. Bet fair.
Max free £2 bet builder per customer per day. Free bet valid on the day it is claimed from the 20th to the 26th of November. Min combined odds of 1.5. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGamblerAware.org.
All right, listen up. Big day, yeah? England, the World Cup. Yes, it's Christmas. Yes, there's bits and bobs to do, but Christmas is once a year, right? The World Cup every 4 years. So let's get out there, get a good seat, show them what we're made of. That all right with you, Nan? It's coming home! The World Cup and Christmas together. Celebrate with a free bet builder on England v the USA. Paddy Power, where were you in 22?
Pre-match online bets only. Min 4+ legs. Must have previously deposited. Free bet varies from £1 to £25 per customer. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGamblerAware.org.
This season,
Delivery!
Prime Video is delivering the entire 2022 Rugby Autumn Nation Series to your door. This Saturday, watch Wales versus Australia, kicking off at 3:15, and England versus South Africa, kicking off at 5:30. Exclusively on Prime Video this year.
It's party time with Juicer. Score some great rewards, like a party bundle, including beer and a takeaway voucher, bottles of wine, or love to shop vouchers. Just spend at least £400 excluding VAT on collected orders before November the 30th. And the more you spend, the more you score. Terms and conditions apply. Account holders only. Registration required. For details, see juicer.co.uk. Voila, the bill.
This one's on me. No, please. Come on, I'm serious. How about I pay for the starters?
Hey, chill. It's Black Friday, and BT are gonna split the bill. Get 6 months of half-price BT Superfast Fibre, all for just $14.49 a month. Hurry, offer ends 8th of December. Currently $28.99 from month 7, 24-month contract, broadband only, new customers, CPI plus 3.9% increase each March, terms apply.
It's here with game after game of...
Whoa! Who's that?
United need to sign in. No.
That number 9, he's proper class.
Discover more from a World Cup like no other, with over £10 million in free bet giveaways, all on the UK's #1 betting app, Sky Bet. That's betting better. 18+, BeGamblerAware.org. Market restrictions may apply. No free bet expiry. Free bet stakes not included in returns. Eligibility restrictions and further T&Cs apply. Verify at skybet.com/1.
TalkSport Sports Update.
For the TalkSport headlines at 11:32, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Speculation is mounting as to who might buy Manchester United after the Glazers announced they're considering selling up after 17 years. Former Crystal Palace owner Simon Jordan's told TalkSport he thinks the Glazers will sell a piece of the club rather than all of it. Former Liverpool and England striker David Johnson has died aged 71. Johnson scored 78 goals for Liverpool in 6 years at the club in the 70s and 80s, had 2 spells at Everton and found the net 6 times in 8 appearances for England. Out in Qatar, England are waiting on news from Harry Kane's ankle scan. Meanwhile, France have lost another player. Defender Luka Hernandez is out of the World Cup with a knee injury, but South Korea captain Son Heung-min will be fit to face Ghana tomorrow. Today's first game, Croatia versus Morocco, is still goalless after 74 minutes. There's live commentary over on TalkSport 2.
NFL Live, tomorrow night from 9, over on TalkSport 2.
Somersaults into the end zone.
Turn over your radio wide receiver as TalkSport 2 brings you gridiron grinding, touchdown tackling, full live commentary of the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Play fake and a bootleg to the right, and Prescott pumps. He's got the 5. He dives to the goal line. Touchdown, Prescott.
NFL Live, tomorrow night from 9, over on TalkSport 2.
Hi everybody, you're listening to the warm-up show on TalkSport in partnership with EE. EE Full Fibre Broadband gives you the speeds you pay for, even at peak times. It's Jim White, Simon Jordan and Danny Murphy. We're coming to you live on TalkSport this Wednesday from Doha in Qatar. It's Qatar 2022 and it is now well up and running. Of course, we've seen so much already, not least the Saudis shocking Argentina yesterday. Right now, the match that's underway between Morocco and Croatia, 0-0 in that one. They're well into the second half. You want to dip into it, you can. That one's live on TalkSport 2. As I said, Simon with me here in our studio on the outskirts of Doha. So too is Danny Murphy. What we now know is that nations came here with the idea that we would be seeing certain player protests. The players, as we were led to believe, would be making their own statements as this tournament would progress, not least with the One Love armband being worn by the skippers of various nations. But then there was a U-turn on that after FIFA got heavy and said, look, we'll start punishing nations who wear the One Love armband because specifically of the part of the world that this tournament is being played in. Now, Denmark, their captain, Simon Kjær, for one, was not at all happy with how this has progressed and with the fact that nations like Denmark had to mount a U-turn in this area. And he spoke post-match after Denmark's opening 0-0 draw.
Saying that it might give a yellow card in the start of the game, then it becomes something about the sport. In the sport, we cannot take any risk. I cannot go on the pitch with a yellow card from the start. That's obvious, at least for me. But I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and how do you feel about how FIFA treated you as Danish players and maybe European players last week by the captain band? And, well, nothing was possible. The Belgians couldn't even wear a love sign in their neck.
Same thing. I think it's ridiculous. I do not understand why.
No.
Where I'm from, how I'm grown up, the values I have, makes no absolute sense. So I think we are on the same page. Everyone. So I think they have to change. Okay. Because if the nations are on the same line, then I don't think it's the nations that's the problem.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot.
What do you think about those who say that you should take a yellow card to risk that, to wear this armband?
I think it's very easy to say. I think it's... then it becomes something about the sport. If I go on the pitch and there can be a situation after 5 minutes that I can risk to get a second yellow card, I put all the team, all Denmark in a bad spot. We cannot risk that. It's for the sport. We come here to play football. We love the football, so we cannot risk going on the pitch to start with a yellow card. I think it's, again, ridiculous that we can be in a situation where that can be said. Like, it's not, like I said before, it's not something new with this One Love captain band. We've done 2 games in the Nations League, so why can't we do it now?
How much of a cloud has it cast over the World Cup? Has it taken your enjoyment out of today at all?
No, absolutely not. The World Cup is the World Cup. Love playing on the stage. You feel the pressure. This is why we feel alive. We play for the adrenaline. At least I can say that for myself. This is what I've been working for 11 and a half months. So the World Cup will always be the World Cup. But is it frustrating sometimes that we have to stand and talk about this at this moment? Absolutely, but I can also see that there's quite a big interest of it, and I understand that is also why we have done so much for Denmark at the moment about this. So I think it's clear for our side.
So that was the Denmark captain Simon Kerr, frustrated that FIFA had clamped down on player protests. FIFA saying, don't do it or we'll punish you. Now, in the last few minutes, Denmark's FA chairman Jesper Moller has joined the debate. He says, I haven't experienced anything like this. I'm not just disappointed, I'm angry. What we're experiencing is completely unacceptable. Simon's with me, so too is Danny Murphy. Simon, what we do know is this: the Football Association of Wales have said too it's extremely disappointed to hear that fans in Qatar have been told to remove their rainbow bucket hats by officials. So there is no room for manoeuvre, if you like, for those who wish to make some kind of a protest.
Well, I mean, the Danish player on one hand says we came here to play football, and that's what we all want you to do, but you're the ones that seem to feel the necessity to impart messages. Now, Danny and I might disagree with this, but I actually think, and I've made this point, if you're so invested in whatever messages you think you have the right to impart, then there's an element of self-sacrifice that has to be involved. Anyone can just impart a message with no particular investment in it, besides looking good for those that want to look at the message that you are alluding to. So take a yellow card then. Where's the sacrifice? No, you don't want to. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to dial in a message and then drive by and run away from it. Look, I don't want them to be a situation where they go on a pitch with a yellow card, but you're either a devout believer in imparting this particular message and believe that the football field is where it needs to be done, or you aren't. And if you aren't, sit down, shut up, and get on with playing football. Because the rest of it is other parts of the media can make a story out of it. Other parts of the media, you can go back into Britain and you can watch Good Morning Britain, all these ghastly shows, spending all their time finding a way to denigrate something. You know, they couldn't. Oh, the first thing they said about the tournament was, they couldn't get into tickets into games. Didn't they not watch in France in a European Champions League final when football fans couldn't get into the stadiums in France? I'm not suggesting that's an excuse or a blueprint. What I am saying is there's an underlying narrative that has nothing to do with football and the messaging they want to impart in a country that is on an evolutionary curve. We may not like their standards, but we're playing a World Cup in their country, and in part every country goes through an evolution and changes its thinking. It won't change its thinking by a bunch of footballers and Western society coming over here and lecturing them how to do it. It'll change its thinking by a progressive outlook and engaging in conversations rather than people telling them what they should and shouldn't do.
Well, Danny's with us, Simon. I mean, Roy Keane's over here, and he said, no, look, if you want to wear your One Love armband, do it and take the yellow card. Do it. Take the yellow card.
Well, I think listening to Simon explain that the way he did, I understand it completely and agree with nearly everything he said. My thinking on Roy Keane's statement behind it wasn't quite as it didn't have as much substance as the way Simon's explained it. I think he was just saying, well, you know, he's annoyed with it, and actually, if you want to take, you know, he knows as a footballer you can't start a game with a yellow. So the players had no choice. Well, they have got a choice, but they decided that they're not going to do that because the most important thing to the players is winning football matches, not fighting a cause for other people that they don't really, truly care that much about. And the reason I say that is because I've been a footballer. And when you're a footballer at elite level, there's a selfishness involved with it and a single-mindedness. And most things you go along with along the way, it's all different when you get older and you become more independent and you're more intelligent, you understand these issues. When you're a footballer, you're trying to win a tournament, you're trying to win a game. If the hierarchy tell you to wear a T-shirt, if the hierarchy tell you to go to a meeting over there or go, you do it.
Which you've had to do in your career.
Of course you have. You do it because you don't really look into the pros and cons of it and get to... Now, there are some footballers who may hear this and think, well, actually, I have looked at every aspect of it and I am intelligent, I have read literature, and maybe there are one or two, or a few more. The majority of footballers are day in, day out thinking about fitness, healthy living, training hard, winning football matches.
I get that, Danny, but some of the associations are not giving up regards a message that they want their nation to send out. Now, an example of that, Simon, is this lunchtime we're hearing that the Germans are considering legal action against FIFA for this clampdown.
I mean, the Germans tried to do something during the Euros, didn't they, where they wanted to beam the rainbow flag across a particular country's stadium or a country that was participating because they didn't like a law that had been passed in that country about a particular brand of education that involved homosexuality or homosexual teachers teaching in a certain way. So with that in mind, we've got to get this politics out of sport. We've got to get this messaging. We all understand that this country is behind the curve. We all understand by the standards that we set is behind the curve.
They don't think they are behind the curve.
Well, they may well not do, but the standards that we
yeah, maybe.
And we all understand that there is in the Western civilized world that we live in, or the civilized world that we think that we live in, we believe we've got the zeitgeist, and we know that with the challenges around migrant workers, that these things need to be looked at. But it won't be looked at by football federations coming over here for 30 days and telling people like the Qataris how they should operate. I keep on making the same point. And it's not because I'm sat here. It is bloody outrageous at some of these countries, and look at some of the ways that they behave, are coming over here and preaching because it makes some form of, I can't think of a better word, I keep using that word, virtue signalling mentality. When it comes down to it, what are you going to sacrifice? Your players won't sacrifice taking a yellow card because it's not that important that we'll take a yellow card for it. So either it's important or it's not.
Yeah.
And, and you're over in someone else's country, there are certain principles. You're living in a country...
And that's not you cozying up to the Qataris.
No, it's not.
As soon as ironically suggested that maybe you were doing the other day.
I would like, and people need to research the facts and understand exactly what's going on in certain areas. I would like to see this country advance in its understanding of LGBT rules, but they're going to get there on their journey. And we don't need a bunch of half-baked football federations trying to make themselves popular by coming in here and making noise that they have no intention of standing behind, just making themselves look good in a certain set of circumstances. And I have been tired of it from the first whistle to the moment it started. I wish our players would just get on with playing football. I wish the Danish players, the French players, which other players want to participate in this crap would just get on with playing football and let this society evolve.
That's unfair. It's not crap.
I think it's crap.
To many, it's not.
I think it's crap from the point of view of what you're actually, what you're actually advocating for is something you don't even understand. Ask them to walk you through. Okay,
you're talking about the players, but the associations will walk you through it, and they give you good reason as to why they want to do it.
Will they?
Yeah.
Okay, ask them to, ask the FA to explain to us how this country's evolved since 1971, when we had this country as part of our British protectorate, as part of our empire, and what's happened since then. Look through the backstory of the migrant workers and the situation that we're talking about with 6,500.
I'm sure the Danish FA chairman Jesper Moller could walk you through it.
Well, that would be interesting to see if he can.
Yeah.
But ask why they think, why they would want, and why they think it enhances the game of sport to turn it into a vehicle for every kind of messaging.
Okay.
And maybe crap was not the ideal word to use in conjunction with the actual causes they're advancing, but their methodology that they're trying to deploy, to me, is crap.
Yeah. No reason why footballers can't do both, though, Danny. Is there no reason why they can't do both?
I never was, as a player, a fan of trying to impart messages on people. I didn't think it was my place. I had a job to do for the club and win football matches. I didn't never want to get involved.
I know, but Belgium not now going to wear their white away shirt with the word love in the collar. I mean, what was the harm in wearing that?
Well, it becomes pedantic, doesn't it? I mean, you could go back to the original argument, which is why we're playing football,
sure,
a carnival of football in a country where these type of things have to be addressed. Why aren't we playing it where these? But how do countries evolve? How do they learn? I don't know. The fact is, the majority of players I played with have the same view as me.
Yeah.
Is that the football is the priority, and if you have to sacrifice other things to win football matches and be the best you can be on the pitch, then so be it.
Fair enough. Going up to 2:45 over here, quarter to noon over in the UK. You're listening to the warm-up show on TalkSport in partnership with EE. EE Full Fibre Broadband gives you the speeds you pay for even at peak times.
For warm-up on TalkSport with EE. You can't always count on the gaffer to pick the right side, but you can count on EE Full Fibre Broadband to give you the speeds you pay for, even at peak times. Powered by BT. Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of Christmas and the World Cup colliding. So come on, St George's cross those sprouts, knit your kits, stuff those turkeys, attack those carols. It's the World Cup with all the trimmings. From this day on, we will forever ask, where were you in 22? Come on! Celebrate with a free bet builder on England v the USA. Paddy Power. Pre-match online bets only. Minimum 4+ legs must have previously deposited. Free bet varies from £1 to £25 per customer. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Your friend's latest binge watch. Your mum's go-to cheesecake recipe. We all love a recommendation. So when you need a job doing, why not go somewhere with hundreds of thousands of them? TrustATrader.com. From plumbers to pest controllers, we only let the very best tradespeople become members, so each one comes with reviews, history and chat options. And we'll find the ones closest to you. So whatever the job, you can always trust a trader.
TrustATrader.com.
Gents, there's something we need to talk about. And no, it's not VAR. Erectile dysfunction. It's more common than you think. And at Lloyd's Pharmacy, it's easy to treat too. Viagra Connect is available without prescription from just $10.99 for 2 tablets. Pick them up in store, including Lloyd's Pharmacy stores within Sainsbury's and online at lloydspharmacy.com. Lloyd's Pharmacy, always here for you. Contains sildenafil. Always read the label, subject to suitability.
You'll be cheering too if you're eligible to join My Diesel Claim. If you owned or leased a diesel vehicle between 2009 and 2020, you could be entitled to significant compensation. At My Diesel Claim, over 1 million people have already put their trust in us. That's over 10 sellout crowds at Wembley. It's free to sign up and you can check your vehicle's eligibility instantly. Join thousands of other football fans and head to mydieselclaim.com today.
This season, Prime Video is delivering the entire 2022 Rugby Autumn Nation Series to your door. This Saturday, watch Wales versus Australia, kicking off at 3:15, and England versus South Africa, kicking off at 5:30. Exclusively on Prime Video this year. 5 subs, 5 stepovers, 5 penalties to win the thing. And now, 5 bets in a bundle. Whatever the World Cup action, with new football bet bundles from Coral, you can get a bundle of 5 bets for double the value or more. Choose a £2 Classic or £5 Premium. Football bet bundles, only from Coral. 18 plus UK only, ends 1st of October 23. Real money purchase of £2 or £5 get a football bet bundle. 5 times £1 or 5 times £2. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
Traffic and travel on Talk Sport, presented by EE Full Fibre Broadband, powered by BT.
The M1 in Leicestershire, 3 out of 4 lanes are closed southbound after an accident between junctions 21A and 21 near Leicester. It's taking around 50 minutes in 5 miles of queues, almost back to junction 22 at Colville. On the M6 in the West Midlands, 2 out of 4 lanes are closed southbound after an accident between junctions 7 and 6 towards Spaghetti Junction, Birmingham. It's taking around 40 minutes in queues from junction 9. And on the M25 in Kent, there's a lane closed anti-clockwise where a lorry's broken down in one of the Dartford tunnels. There are queues from junction 3 for the M20. I'm Russell Holding.
Get the latest TUI deals. We have great offers on loads of TUI holidays. Here we come. You can save up to £200 per booking. Plus, live happy all year with up to £150 worth of rewards per person. Dreamy. All ATOL protected. So don't miss out. Offers now on TUI. Live happy. Booking T's and C's apply. Selected departures. Minimum spend applies. See website for details.
TalkSport.
World Cup Game Day Warm-Up with Jim White and Simon Jordan on TalkSport.
Welcome back. It is Jim White, it is Simon Jordan, and it's Danny Murphy. We're coming to you live from Doha in Qatar. Of course, it looks now like Morocco against Croatia, and the dying seconds of this match is going to stay goalless. Having said that, that's tempting fate, isn't it? Brenner got a goal now, but it's 0-0. It looks like that one's going to finish up. Thereafter, 1 o'clock kickoff for you guys back home. Germany against Japan. It's in Group E. It's live in Talk Sport. Team News. Jim Proudfoot, what have you got?
Jim, very warm welcome to the Khalifa International Stadium. As far as Germany are concerned, 2 former World Cup winners in the team in Neuer and Müller, 2 of 5 Bayern Munich players. They're the 5th and 6th players to play at 4 separate World Cups for Germany, and both make their 17th World Cup appearance today. They're without Leroy Sané through injury. They line up like this: Neuer in goals, Süle, Rudiger, Schlotterbeck and Raum. Kimmich alongside Gundogan. There've been plenty of speculation it'd be Goretzka, but it's Gundogan that's got the nod. Gnabry, Müller and Musiala in behind. Kai Havertz playing as a false 9, the Chelsea striker, leading the line for Germany. Now, Japan have got 5 players who play their football in the Bundesliga in the starting lineup. Celtic's Daisen Maeda also starts. Gonda in goal, Sakai, Itakura, Yoshida, former Southampton man, and Nagatomo the back 4. Tanaka and Endo in midfield, Ito, Kamada and Kubo, and then Maeda up front. And on the bench, a couple of players who we're used to seeing in the Premier League, Takahiro Tomiyasu and also Karu Mitoma, both amongst the substitutes for Japan today. We've got a referee from El Salvador, a real disciplinarian. Oh, we haven't seen red cards in this tournament so far. This could be the day. It's Germany against Japan here at Khalifa, and we kick off in just over an hour's time, Jim.
Jim, thank you very much indeed. One of the best in the business, Jim Proudfoot. Germany, Japan coming your way. It's live on TalkSport, as Jim said. I'm with Simon and Danny here in studio on the outskirts of Doha. It's time for this.
The player to watch on TalkSport with EE. Count on EE full fibre broadband to give you the speeds you pay for, even at peak times. Powered by BT. Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk.
Yeah, let's do it. A player to watch with EE. Mr. Danny Murphy, who have you got for us?
Well, there's so many actually, but I've gone for Valverde because I think, although some people enjoy watching the Spanish football, would have seen him for Madrid on occasion. This guy for Uruguay is a sensational player who's going to get better and better. Speaking to a lot of players who know more about him than me in the last couple of days, and he's been the talk. Super technician, powerful. There is talk he's going to take that more central role instead of Cruz for Real Madrid. But yeah, it'd be fascinating to watch, see how he does in this Uruguay side. There's got a lot of talent in there actually.
Yeah.
And actually, I know you've asked for one, but just listening to the chat there about Germany, Musiala, I don't know if anyone's seen much of him, but he's already got a dozen goals this year for Munich. He's only a teenager. He could have played for us.
Could have played for England, yeah. Yeah.
Can play central, can play wide. Real threat.
Okay.
Real threat. Worth a watch.
Okay, so the one to watch, though, is your boy for Uruguay. You prefer us to keep an eye on him, Valverde.
Yeah.
Okay, Danny, thank you very much indeed. That was our player to watch with EE. EE full fibre broadband gives you the speeds you pay for, even at peak times, powered by BT.
The player to watch on TalkSport with EE. Count on EE full fibre broadband to give you the speeds you pay for, even at peak times. Powered by BT. Limited availability. Check coverage at ee.co.uk.
You heard from Jim Proudfoot moments ago. Coming up, Germany against Japan. Live commentary of that on TalkSport. It seems various places I've been to thus far in Doha. I keep on bumping into fans of the Premier League. Danny, I'm not just saying this because you're here, but almost inevitably, the large percentage of them are Liverpool supporters. And then, just as I was leaving in the hotel, coming over here, who's standing at the lift? But a former Liverpool player who's going to represent the Swiss in this World Cup. They're yet to play. And he, of course, is Jordan Shaqiri, who still has a huge affection for Liverpool.
Was one of the best. We had a beautiful 3 years. We won everything, and the fans were always amazing. They supported me, so I will have them always in my heart.
Do you always feel the love from Liverpool fans?
Yeah, I felt always the love, and still now, and it's always nice to see that people love you, and you can see how much the fans from Liverpool love the club, and yeah, follow always the old players, and yeah, that shows that the Liverpool fans are really special.
You used to live in the northwest of England. Did you bump into Sir Alex Ferguson a few times? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, a few times. Sir Alex is a big guy and a nice guy, so I met him a few times. Okay.
Good luck to Switzerland. Can you win? I mean, your first game is coming up.
We try. So we're gonna be a special team in this tournament. And we try everything.